Okay. I still remember the dark ages when one couldn't TiVo or fast forward through commercials, so you would end up having to see things that you didn't care about. As a kid, I still remember seeing commercials that went a little like this. Howdy y'all, I'm here holding a fresh pile of lettuce, half a tomato, a gallon dressing, and 4 tubs of butter. Now, all these ingredients are rolled up into a tiny little ball and deep fried 6 times to create the freshest lettuce in town. Now, y'all just scurry on down to your local CVS and get your hands on the new and fresh Salabetes. As warning, the Salabetes is made from chicken compost and manure, can cause paralysis, diabetes, heart palpitations, death, or worse, but it's so dang good, you won't even know the difference. These days, it's less about commercials and more about banner ads on websites and Twitter, but really the purpose stays the same, to sell. To a small kid and most adults, these ads are loaded with appealing graphics and words. But in my family, I was expected to challenge these commercials and advertisements, and often I would find myself in conversations that went a little like this. Why does my burger always look so good on TV, but not when I go? That actor looks like they're constipated. Who made that decision? And most importantly, what was the point of what I just saw? I've been asking myself these questions since then, and I always keep coming back to that same question. What was the point? Mostly over math, but really it seems that as people, we do things to do them, but we never really get the opportunity to understand. Which is what brings me into my informational interviews. Now, at the beginning of the summer, I really wanted to know the difference between marketing and advertising, and someone who really helped me through this tough decision was actually who now is my mentor, Lee DeHousen, and he's the founder of MindTap Marketing. And it was actually a very interesting experience because they're a very small company, they're a very small team, and they only work with a small percent of the marketing, the digital marketing. So basically what they do, they work almost as consultants for big agencies. So they make the website, they make the email sending, I don't even know what they're called. He explained to me the other day, and I still don't understand what they are. But that's something that I really would like to learn more about. And the reason why I kind of chose him as to be my mentor was because he could guide me through the beginning all the way until the end of the marketing process in a way that's very personalized compared to other larger agencies, which is my next point. Rockfish Marketing Agency. They're a lot bigger marketing agency, and they work starting with prototypes all the way to making commercials, and they actually work with Target, Dove, etc. And something that I was talking about with Kayla and David was the fact that since they are a big company and since they do a lot of things, they aren't as personalized to the customer. So oftentimes they have to hire outside consultants like my mentor. The next person that I talked to was Don Green. Now he was a fantastic resource for marketing because he's been in the industry for 30 years. And he has gotten everywhere from production to management to maintaining the marketing process. And he was able to point me to a lot of different types of marketing. So for example, one that's up and coming right now is SEO marketing, which means search engine optimization, which basically means you want your thing to pop out the most and be the most important compared to other people so that they will buy your product instead of someone else's. Another person that I talked to after Bill pointed me to SEO marketing was Bill Kruger, and he is the founder of Big Pig SEO Marketing. And he specializes specifically on using specific keywords on websites for the clients so that they will be search engine optimized in Google and the internet and such. I did a lot of interviews. So this is Mauricio Galvan. He's actually a family friend. And he is the marketing director of MoneyGram International. And his job was basically to do the business side of marketing. So it was mostly finances, seeing how much it would take to do the statistics. So he takes everything in and he basically gives a plan and a guideline for the creative directors. And something that he pointed out to me was when you're marketing a brand, you have to do brand value and recognition. So something that sets apart Starbucks coffee from, I don't know, McDonald's coffee is the fact that because you know that Starbucks is a high-end brand, because you know that they're paying their workers well, because you know that their farms are actually eco-friendly, you are willing to pay a higher price than the McDonald's cups of coffee. So that's something that he really set me to think, and that brings me on to my research. I did a lot of research, so I'm trying to condense this into just 2 slideshows for you. And the thing that really makes me love marketing is the fact that it's been around forever and it will continue to persist no matter what happens in the economy, it will never go away. Because if you think about it, there's always been posters, and it's gone from posters, radio, TV, and now what do we have? Social media. In the future, we don't know what we're going to have, but there is going to be some other platform that someone invents that we are going to be able to use. And that's what I think is so fascinating, because if I keep up with the trends in the growing markets, I will never, ever be out of a job, because this is going to persist. And no matter what company I go into, everyone needs marketing. Now, what makes marketing successful? As I pointed out a little bit with Mauricio Galvan, is brand recognizability, search-driven content, consumer loyalty, and a good story. One of the best examples that I could find that's kind of funny is Denny's Twitter. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever been to Denny's, but I'm sure you've seen some of their Twitter postings that they do, and some of the interesting GIFs and slideshow presentations that they do sometimes, but they're actually really funny. And something that they didn't realize at the beginning when they were doing this movement into Twitter was that they were going to get this whole new market of millennials because of their memes and their brand recognizability, because they're funny, because they are this kind of weird restaurant that nobody else really does this. So that's one of the best examples that I could come up with that really encompasses all of these values. Also, one of the research interview assessments that I did was I went to a concert, and I actually went backstage and I talked with the lead singer, Alex Huang, and I kind of asked him, how did you start up your band and how did you kind of market that? Because something that I wanted to do with my original work, which I will talk about in a second, was working with a band to really market them and get them from point A to point B. Now, he told me that primarily what this is making sure that you know who is listening. So for example, you're not going to market your country music for someone who listens to rap. So you have to know who's listening to you. You have to know what other bands are available that kind of sound like you, so that you will be able to find people like that. And you have to honestly be sincere, and originality in this market really matters. So that's something that I really had to keep in the back of my mind into making something unique and creative with whatever band I was going to work with, which leads me into my original work. Now, obviously, music needs marketing too. Again, this is a giant market. And something that why I chose this is because music really is one of my biggest passions other than marketing. So I went through a lot of bands and I talked with them, and the one that I kind of settled on was Carol's band, Manifest Destiny's Child. And so I started working with them and I revamped their logo. So here you can see the original logo and the updated logo that I made. And as you can see, the first one is rasterized. It's not very clean. It's good, but here I literally just cleaned it up. I kind of put in a cuter pastel-y background and just updated the colors so that if they were to choose to do buttons or stickers, they would be able to print this one out a lot better than the first one. Another thing that I did was they post a lot of art on their Instagram and, sorry, not Instagram, Facebook. So I kind of remade it, like digitalized it, and I went from the original to the updated, which looks a lot cleaner. Again, it's just, it makes it look more professional. Now, while I was working with the band, one of my friends came up to me and she's like, do you know any bands, because I'm making an exhibit. I was like, well, actually, I do. They're Manifest Destiny's Child, and I kind of introduced them a little bit. And she asked me to market the gallery as well. And I think it really did become my original work because I made the flyers, I got the interview with RACC TV, and it was a really cool experience. So those first two are posters targeted specifically for Frisco High School. So it has people that, at least like some people are going to recognize the names that are on there. And I use the QR code because that's something that the client wanted. So that's something that I respected for her, and I decided to do the QR code. The first one is for Wakeland, and it's targeted specifically for Wakeland. She gave me the name, she gave me the person who did the art, and then this one is the Frisco one, and that one was created by Lexi Whiziker, and that one is photography by Matthew Merson. So I went to the gallery and I kind of asked around. I was like, who are you guys here to see? Who are you guys here interested, and why did you basically come? And most of the people that were there told me that it was because of Carol's band. And I think it was, I'm not gonna lie, I think it was partly me because I did go out into Frisco Square and I handed out physical flyers and pamphlets to people, and I was like, you guys should really come. This is it's a really cool experience for the price and how much, and the experience that you're getting basically. So I kind of made a survey of the people that were there, and I figured out target market segmentation. So the age range of the people there, the gender, which surprisingly I found out to be mostly male, and the age range mostly to be younger, which is something that I kind of predicted. And by geographic factors, I figured out that most people were there from Frisco High School and other people were there from other schools, primarily like Wakeland, and then also 50% of Frisco people. And this is just from the tickets bought before the exhibit. Once we were there were a lot of families, there were a lot of people otherwise, and we actually did end up selling out, which was a pretty cool experience. So from my original work, what I kind of did, I put in all of this and condensed it into something that I could use for the band. So I made a, what's it called? Oh, Christ. My bad. I made a marketing plan. That's what it's called. I'm so sorry. I made a marketing plan for Manifest Destiny's Child, and included price strategy. So for example, a lot of things that we were going to implement within the next couple of months, and I'm not going to say it just yet because it is mostly for my final product. But this experience really taught me that I really am passionate about this. I spent a ridiculous amount of time on everything, and I enjoyed every single moment of it, and I thought that was kind of crazy. Where's my page for my conclusion? Oh wait, no, we're good. I'm so sorry. So it really was this giant, really cool experience that I probably will never have again, but it's something that I really want to work with. And while talking with my mentor, we have been coming up with a couple of ideas for my final product, and maybe making a digital website instead of focusing on traditional marketing. I had no idea that everything that I've been working for, like watching small commercials and questioning them, had been the beginning foundations for my passion for marketing. I've done all of this research, and believe me, every single one of these interviews, every single one of these assessments, every single one of my blogs, the gallery, the minutes that I've spent on this, I've not done for the grade, but because I genuinely am fascinated by what I'm doing. And because of this class, I can say that everything that I understand because I love. My name is Maria Moreno, and I invite you to take a commercial break with me and dare to leave something worthwhile behind. It was a little rough. It's all good.